Welcome, gentle listener. I am Voldemort, your faithful servant, and I wish to introduce you to the forces, factions, and units of the Warhammer 40k universe. The grim darkness of the far future, where there is no time for peace, there is only time for war. And today, we're to briefly discuss the Chaos Terminators, as a bit of a Christmas cracker only. There is no tale today because I do need a bit of a break, but also because they should feature very heavily in the campaign we are running in 2021, the War at Abundance Tertius. So please do bear with me, and you shall be rewarded with what I hope to be the very best work I can produce. Well, at the present, and with the resources I have available to me, at least. But let us now learn about the chaos-tainted wearers of tactical Dreadnought armor. Chaos Terminators. And so, as usual, for the very basics, let us lean on existing wisdom. To quote, Chaos Terminators. Chaos Terminators are heavily armoured veterans clad in debased suits of tactical Dreadnought armour. They form the elite of their masters' warbands, for though they are ponderous compared to their power armour-clad comrades, nothing short of a dedicated anti-tank laser can stop a Terminator in full stride. These seasoned killers often act as the personal guard of an esteemed champion of chaos, enforcing the commands of their leader with pitiless efficiency and taking their pick of the spoils after each victory. They tend to be egotistical, brutish and crude, using their physical prowess in the favour of their lord to intimidate other members of their warband. Far from resenting such behaviour, most Chaos Space Marines simply plot to bring about the day when they can abuse such power for themselves. As any Space Marine will recount, a suit of Terminator armour is an ancient and sacred artifact to be reverently maintained. The armour is massively bulky and contains a full array of fibre bundles and adamantine rods to support the heavy gauze pastille and ceramite plates that form the outer carapace. Legend has it that the crux Terminatus emblazoned on each suit's shoulder incorporates a fragment of the Emperor's own blessed armour. Each chapter can muster only 100 or so of these suits, and not all of their systems are properly understood, as their workmanship is from a bygone age. Nonetheless, those veterans given the honour of wearing one of these masterpieces to war are the most formidable foot soldiers in the Imperium. The armour worn by a Chaos Terminator, on the other hand, is as corrupt and twisted as the traitor within. Where once Imperial insignia were emblazoned upon its pauldrons and greaves, leering death's heads and the eye of Horus now stare accusingly at those brave enough to look upon them. Spiked trophy racks protrude from massive shoulders. The skulls of the enemy are barbaric testament to their wearers' martial prowess. Helmets have grown into bestial masks that spout great tusks and razored horns, many of which have fused directly into the skulls of their wearers. When twinned with the stomping heavy gait typical of all Terminators, these adornments conspire to give the impression of a slab-muscled predatory hulk searching for its next meal. Terminators are not the swiftest of troops when it comes to ground assault. To counter this, they frequently go to war in smoke-belching land raiders that can smash open the fortifications of the enemy. This allows their murderous passengers to reach the foe without having to first navigate the fierce bombardments so often arrayed against them. Much like their loyalist counterparts, Chaos Terminators can also be teleported directly into battle from the vaulted halls of their warships, though they are as likely to use sorcery for such a strike as they are science. The sudden appearance of a unit of Terminators within the enemy's headquarters has spelled the bloody end of many a protracted campaign. End quote. Chaos Terminators are not exactly the same as the newer versions for many of the Warriors of Chaos. Most Legion Traitor Astartes, those veterans of the Long War who have fought since the Horus Heresy, will have patterns that were in use before the Rebellion. Twisted though they may be, patterns are most often recognizable, so one can tell the caliber of the opposition by its mark and make, or at least take a good guess. If a Traitor Terminator has a newer make, then they should hail from a Traitor Astartes chapter. For many of the Warriors of Chaos are in fact not from the Legions. They are from chapters of loyalist Space Marines that have turned to evil over the 10,000 years or more since that dread confrontation. So most often their armour would be twisted and obviously not pure and as it was forged, but an ancient set on an ancient warrior. They are barely recognisable to the untrained eye at all, but to someone who knows, another Astartes, a Mechanicus Magos, an Inquisitor. Then the pattern and sometimes even the forge world of Genesis is discernible, the mark heralding the man inside, if that word, man, can still be applied. And for this to be true, then it means that 99 times out of 100, that the occupant of an older mark is an ancient terror, one of the very best, worst, meanest, most callous, most cruel, and cunning of an army that has fought throughout the hell of the battles of the Eye of Terror, then come out again with all of that experience, that pain, that rage, and that hate. A being that can never be satisfied, no matter the carnage, lust, trickery, or disease they spread, no matter their particular patron. For they are as ardent as a demon prince, and as effective as 10 times their number in even standard Astartes. They're the cream of the crop, some of the most experienced and best fighters that the galaxy has ever seen, at least since the war, or wars, in heaven. But do also remember that this is just as much a sign of rank as it is about purely effective armour and its ability to enhance the wearer. For tactical Dreadnought armour is far from perfect. It does provide much increased protection, is a platform for much heavier firepower and melee weaponry that can be deployed effectively. And at one time, just prior to the Horus Heresy breaking out, it was envisaged that most, if not all, Astartes, Space Marines, would eventually be equipped with such armour. But the heresy and its horrific battles between brother Astartes highlighted its shortcomings thoroughly and conclusively. Tactical Dreadnought armour, Terminator armour, is a sledgehammer that can win battles. Yes, but it is slow, it is clumsy, and if used on an open or uncramped battlefield, at the very least, then it is ponderous. It can be easily outflanked, easily outpaced. Its protection is colossal, but if one knows how to defeat it, then they are merely large and slow-moving targets waiting for one lucky or well-placed shot to negate all their vaunted advantage. And it is for this reason, their limitations as well as the utter destruction of the Imperium's infrastructure, making it literally impossible for the Imperium to produce enough skill and knowledge to ever make it possible to outfit all Marines in it. Its expense married to its limitations has meant that it has always been warplate of limited availability and use. When applied correctly in land raider or teleportation or magically assisted assaults, there are few units in the entire setting that have a chance of even slowing them down, let alone stopping them. Some, but few. Thus to say a Chaos Marine, a traitor Astartes moving toward you in this armour, is tantamount to a sentence of death. Run if you wish, but if you do, you can never, ever stop running. I have been Voldemort, your faithful servant. I hope you have enjoyed this brief introduction to Chaos Terminators. If so, then please do consider liking and subscribing. If you do, then hit the notifications button, as I would not want you to miss out. If you see the worth in what we are doing, then do also consider joining our Patreon, or giving the video a share if that is beyond your present scope. It would be a great boon. Now, no matter what you do today, do try to make some time for fun. Toodaloo.